Many mythologies have gods that represent death, Hades being one example of how the ancient Greeks saw the world. But one of the first and most famous gods to be created was Anubis. But do you know the history of this Egyptian deity? You have probably seen his figure somewhere before. Before I start talking about Anubis, I would like to make it clear that mythology usually has several versions. So, if you have heard of something different from what I am about to tell you, don't worry. Anubis was a traditional deity who was part of the religiosity practiced by the Egyptians in the ancient age. He was also known for being the god of mummification and the one who guided the dead in the underworld. He is the one who guards the tombs and takes part in the judgment of all souls by weighing people's hearts on a magic scale. Over time, a significant change in Egyptian beliefs took place, and Anubis ceded these attributes to Osiris. Thus, Anubis became a kind of assistant to Osiris. In addition, he became the protector of the tombs and cemeteries, and the one who guided and protected the dead in the afterlife. The Egyptians represented him with a human body, but with a jackal's face black in color, which had a double meaning in Egyptian culture. Black represented the decomposition of the body, therefore death and the passage to the afterlife. But it also referred to the rebirth of life, since it was the same color as the fertile soil on the banks of the Nile River. The current knowledge of historians allows us to say that the first representations of this god date back to about 3100 before Christ. These representations were found through archaeological excavations in Egyptian tombs. However, the cult of Anubis is believed to have been established during the pre-dynastic period, between 6100 before Christ and 3500 before Christ. The rise of Osiris in Egyptian religion took place around 2000 before Christ. And from then on, Anubis lost space to this new god, who became the main representative of the dead for the Egyptians. This change brought changes even in the myths surrounding Anubis, and he began to be seen as the son of Nephthys and Osiris. The myth of his birth began with a lie by Nephthys, goddess of the night. She was interested in Osiris because she thought he was very handsome. So she disguised herself as Isis, Osiris' wife, and seduced him. Nephthys became pregnant after her relationship with Osiris, and to prevent her husband Set from discovering her betrayal, she then decided to abandon the child. This child was Anubis, who was adopted by Isis when this goddess found out what had happened. Set is the desert god of war chaos, and is the greatest adversary and has always been jealous of his brother for the fact that his brother is worshipped, while he is generally feared. Eventually, Set also found out what happened and took revenge by murdering Osiris. But Osiris manages to overcome death with the help of Isis, Nephthys and Anubis himself, coming back to life. According to the legends of that time, when Osiris was dead, Isis was collecting the pieces of her beloved who had been literally sliced in several parts by Set and scattered throughout Egypt. After she was able to put the parts together, Anubis would have had the idea to embalm the body. From that moment on, he would become the god of embalming, of unification, and guardian of all the tombs. Many believed that it was Anubis who prevented looters from desecrating the tombs. With the popularization of Osiris, Anubis was placed as a sort of auxiliary of Osiris, protecting the tombs and guiding the dead in the afterlife. He was also one of the gods who participated in the court of Osiris, which judged the dead for their actions, and also acted as the scales in this court. This scale determined the fate of the dead, whether they would enjoy life after death or be devoured by a monster. In this scale, the heart of the dead was weighed with a feather, and if it was lighter, the dead could enjoy life after death. This myth had the heart as a symbol of the person's actions in life and the feather as a symbol of the concept of justice for the Egyptians. Anubis was worshipped in certain places in Egypt, and there were shrines in his honor scattered throughout several regions. The city of Saka held one of the main places of worship of Anubis, and Memphis made this god its patron of mummification. This is because this city was known for having several necropolises. The necropolis, basically, were places where tombs were located, which evidenced Anubis' connection with death and with the funerary rituals present in the Egyptian culture. There were amulets produced in reference to this god, and the tombs were decorated with images of him. Because of this, today he is one of the most remembered figures when we talk about God. Today's video is coming to an end. I hope to see you in the next videos.